Story 1, The Gig from Hell. I've driven nights for 3 years now, and I've learned that Los Angeles looks different after midnight. The palm trees lean like tired sentries. Billboards flicker like broken prayers. And the people who climb into your back seat, they aren't always the same ones who get out. That night, I just dropped off a drunk couple on Santa Monica Boulevard, right where the neon turns the pavement pink. My phone chimed, ride request $38.40, 47 minutes to Pomona. Not bad money. I hit accept. The pickup spot was a fancy Japanese place called Sakura Grill, closed for hours. Next door, dispensary blinked Green Reaper in dying green light. The street was empty enough to hear the power lines hum. I parked at the curb and tapped arrived. No one came. 2 minutes. I checked the mirrors, then the alley beside the restaurant. Nothing but dumpsters and a shopping cart. At minute 3, movement. Someone staggered out from behind the Green Reaper sign, thin, swaying, wrapped in a torn floral dress. When she stepped into the glow, I saw her smile, wide, too wide, showing only 4 yellow teeth. She pressed her face to the rear window and grinned like we were old friends. Then, swear to God, she arched backward, spine bending in an impossible half circle, before snapping upright again and tugging the handle. The door unlocked. A stench rolled in, bleach and something copper, like pennies soaked in meat. "Hiya, Mr. Uberman," she sang, voice oddly childish. "You're cute." "Oh, someone left their hoodie here. Hold onto it for me, okay?" I glanced in the mirror. On the seat beside her lay a grey hoodie, dark stains crusted around the pocket. "Sure," I said. My throat felt sandpaper dry. She introduced herself as Lulu, though she giggled and added, "Miss Toothless, some people call me." Then she leaned forward between the seats and sniffed my hair. I merged onto the I-10, trying to breathe through my mouth. Lulu hummed tunelessly, tapping the knife-shaped keychain dangling from her wrist. At mile 5 she whispered something. At mile 6 I realized she wasn't whispering to me. "No, don't tell him," she muttered, eyes fixed on the trunk. "He's driving. He'll know soon." Then, sharper, I said, "Shut up." I turned the radio on low FIGs, something harmless. Didn't matter. She started giggling again, louder, rocking in rhythm with the wipers. At mile 12 she slammed her palm against the roof. "Stop the car." The sound jolted through my spine. I can't stop on the freeway," I said. "UPS," she shrieked. "Got to pick up my boyfriend from jail." "You can drop me there." I tightened my grip on the wheel. "We're going to Pomona." "That's what you put in." Her tone dropped. "Then I'll cut my own way out." Something metallic clicked. From her sock she pulled a folding knife, blade edged with the word sleep. She pressed it into the leather seat and scratched the letters there, humming a lullaby. I sped up, 80, 85. The road blurred, exit signs flashing like Morse code. "Relax," I said, keeping my voice steady. "We'll be there soon." She crawled forward until her breath warmed my neck. "You look tired, Jaden," she whispered. "How about we stop for boba? I'll get you something sweet, make you rest." I locked the doors with a quick thumb tap. "Not thirsty." She giggled again but slumped back, muttering in that sing-song tone. Outside, the city thinned into dark warehouses and dead orange trees. At mile 32 she began to hum louder, an off-key nursery rhyme, "Hush little baby, don't say a word." Each note closer, sharper, until I could feel it vibrating behind my eyes. Then silence. When I glanced back, she was gone. "Lulu?" My voice cracked. A sudden thud against the passenger window made me jerk the wheel. She was crouched on the front seat, face inches from mine, hair sticking to her cheeks. Her pupils were pinpricks. Eyes red, so sleepy. I forced my gaze on the road. "Almost there." She laughed, low and wet. "You smell like my boyfriend." "What?" "Bleach. He used bleach too." We reached Pomona's outskirts, rows of boarded-up homes, graffiti like scabs. The map pin dropped near an abandoned subdivision. End of the road, I said. She exhaled a slow hiss. Don't forget dinner, Mr. Uberman. Next time I'll bring a bigger knife. Before I could unlock the doors, she pushed her face against the window and left a kiss, lipstick smeared crimson, tinged with something darker. Then she was gone, melting into the cul-de-sac shadows. I sat there until the navigation app blinked. Trip ended, $38.40 earned. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I reported her to the police that morning. They found nothing, until 2 days later, when a detective called. Jaden Morgan? We located the vehicle she was using last week, a '96 Civic behind a motel off Gary Avenue. Okay. There's a body in the trunk. Male, mid-20s. Been dead at least 3 weeks. I thought of the hoodie. The stains. The smell. The detective's voice softened. You did the right thing getting out of there. I didn't tell him about the lipstick mark on the glass. How I couldn't wash it off completely, no matter how much bleach I used. Under the dome light, it always looked like it was still wet. 2 weeks passed. The city kept spinning its neon lies. I tried to pretend nothing had changed, kept driving, kept smiling at drunks and tourists. Then, one Thursday, my phone buzzed again. New ride request, Lulu, pickup, Sakura Grill. My stomach turned to stone. I hit decline. The phone vibrated again. Ride request, Lulu, pickup, Sakura Grill. I turned the phone off. Drove home in silence. At 3:07 a.m., the dashcam motion sensor pinged. A single frame saved to my cloud folder. I watched it once. A woman in a torn floral dress stood in my driveway, just outside the glow of the porch light. Her head was tilted backward, mouth wide in a toothless grin. In one hand she held a grey hoodie. In the other, a folded knife glinting sleep. Then the feed cut out. I moved apartments the next week. Still, every night around 3 a.m., I swear I smell bleach and copper through the vents. And sometimes, if I check the mirror at the wrong moment, I catch the faintest red smear on the back window. Story 2, The Midnight Guest. The thing about working graveyard shifts is you stop trusting reflections. The glass doors show shapes that aren't really there. The vending machine hum becomes a whisper if you listen too long. By 3 a.m., your own heartbeat starts to sound like footsteps. That night the rain hadn't stopped for hours. The Obsidian's lobby, black marble, one flickering chandelier, felt like the inside of a throat. I was halfway through a bag of cheddar chips, half watching the security feed, when the elevator chimed. Out stepped a man I hadn't seen check in. Tall, 6'4", maybe, hoodie soaked through, jeans plastered to his legs, rain dripping from his sleeves. He stood there a moment, eyes vacant white like the flash from a camera that never fades. Front desk is closed for the night, I said automatically. He smiled, trembling. My name's Victor. Victor Lang. I'm on 7. My mother's dying. Could I talk to someone? There was something off about the way he said talk. Like he'd practiced it. Sure, I said. Against every rule, I gestured to the bar stools across from the desk. You can sit for a minute. Just keep your distance, okay? He Saturday. The leather squeaked. The air smelled of wet wool and cigarettes. I tried small talk. You need a cab in the morning? He didn't answer. His eyes drifted over the lobby cameras. You got blind spots here. I felt my stomach tighten. Not really. He chuckled, a rasp. Everyone's got blind spots. By 4:05 a.m., the rain had become mist. I stepped out the side door for a smoke. My lighter wouldn't catch. When it finally did, the flame lit his reflection in the glass behind me. He'd followed. Didn't mean to scare you, he said. Just didn't want to be alone. Maybe go back upstairs, I said softly. It's late. He leaned closer, voice barely human now. You ever feel like the night's watching you back? His breath smelled like cold metal. Before I could respond, he wrapped his arms around me, tight, sudden, crushing. Just one hug, he whispered. It's freezing. I shoved hard, breaking free, nearly dropping my cigarette. Don't touch me again. He blinked, as if waking up from a trance. Sorry. Guess I miss human contact. I backed toward the door, badge ready to scan. He smiled after me, teeth small and even, too perfect against that cracked mouth. Inside, the lobby clock read 4:18 a.m. I locked the side door. Checked the cameras. Camera 2 showed him pacing by the vending machines, head tilted like he was listening to the building's heartbeat. Then, he vanished from the frame. A knock echoed behind me. He stood at the counter again, dripping on the marble. Can we just talk? Sir, it's against policy. He leaned in until the glass of the partition fogged. Do you have kids? What? You should. You'd make a good mother. His tone was conversational, like we were talking about weather. Maybe, my mother could meet you. That's when I realized his pupils were different sizes. I hit the silent alarm under the desk. It only called the manager's extension upstairs, but it made me feel less alone. I have a fiancé, I said. He's on his way to pick me up. Victor smirked. He doesn't need to know about me. 5:12 a.m. The elevator dinged. My co-worker Jenna appeared, half awake, holding her phone. Victor stiffened. Morning, I said loudly, forcing cheer. Victor was just leaving. He smiled at Jenna, then looked back at me. See you soon, Skylar. He knew my name. Wait, Jenna said as the door closed behind him. Who was that? Just a guest, I lied. Bad night. She shrugged and went to make coffee. I checked the system, no reservation under Victor Lang. 5:50 a.m. The printer spat out a sheet unprompted. A note in thick marker scrawled across hotel stationery. Next time wear tighter pants. I like watching you walk. V. The pen I kept behind my ear was gone. I replayed the camera feed. There he was, sliding the note under the glass partition, his grin pressed to the counter. Then, outside, walking in circles near the front doors, holding something thin and gleaming. Wire. I whispered to Jenna, his back. She grabbed her phone to call security, except our on-call guard had clocked out at 5. The manager answered instead, voice groggy. Get out the back. Now. We ran through the service hallway. My hand shook so hard the keycard nearly snapped in the lock. The rain was a wall of static, swallowing our footsteps. Behind us, a muffled voice echoed, you can't hide from goodbyes. I didn't stop running until I hit the alley by the dumpsters. Jenna called the cops while I sat on the curb, lungs burning. By the time patrol arrived, he was gone. Sunrise turned the sky the color of bruises. I went home, showered, tried to sleep. At 6:06 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Thank you for last night. You make loneliness bearable. I'll come by your room tonight. V. I blocked the number, changed my locks, filed a report. The police promised to keep an eye out. A month later, I was almost convinced it was over. Then detective on called. Skylar Reed? We've arrested a Victor Lang in Oregon. You'll want to know what we found. He paused long enough for me to hear paper shuffle. In his car, printed photos of you taken through the hotel window. A hand-drawn map of the Obsidian's floor plan. He inhaled. Room 312 was circled in red. My voice barely worked. That's my break room. Yes. He also had wire cutters, a lockpick, and a box labeled hugs. Empty. I hung up and sat staring at the rain outside my own window. Somewhere, a siren wailed, swallowed by distance. That night, I unplugged every camera in my apartment. Couldn't stand the feeling of being watched, even by myself. Still, sometimes when I close my eyes around 3 a.m., I feel the weight of those arms again, cold and shaking, and hear his whisper against my ear. Just one more hug. Story 3, the AA Stalker. People think hitting rock bottom happens once. That's a lie. It happens every night you wake up at 2 a.m. wondering if you deserve to keep existing. The AA hall in my town used to be a church basement. The cross was gone, but the faint outline still haunted the brick wall above the podium. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., the circle of chairs filled with ghosts who still had heartbeats. That's where I met him. His name was Derek. Or that's what he said. Mid-30s, flannel shirt, clean-shaven except for a strip of stubble under his chin. He had those quiet, careful eyes that make you want to tell the truth. When it was my turn to share, my hands trembled so hard the styrofoam cup squeaked. "Hi, I'm Leah, and I'm an alcoholic." "Hi, Leah," they murmured. I told them about the blackout. The night I almost drove off the bridge. The way my mother's voice cracked when she picked me up from the police station. Afterward, Derek found me outside, under the flickering parking lot lamp. "You're brave for showing up," he said. "Most people don't." He smelled like peppermint and rain. I remember thinking, he doesn't look broken enough to be one of us. Over the next few weeks, he started timing his arrivals with mine. Always sat one chair away. Always lingered after the meeting ended, offering to walk me to my car. At first, I liked it. He made recovery feel less like punishment. Then little things started to feel wrong. Once, I forgot to share, and during the break he whispered, "You said last week your mother calls every Sunday. How was she this time?" I hadn't told him that. I told the group. He remembered everything. My relapse count. My favorite brand of seltzer. The name of my cat. It should have felt flattering. It didn't. One Friday, after a rough shift at the diner, I found a note taped to my windshield. "You looked sad tonight. Don't drink. I'm proud of you. D." My AA sponsor, Maggie, said it was probably just someone being kind. But the handwriting, sharp, slanted, looked too deliberate. That night, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. "I can help you stay sober, Leah. Let me watch over you." I blocked it. But another came through minutes later from a new number. Blocking me won't stop the craving. The next meeting, I pretended nothing was wrong. Derek smiled like nothing had changed. Halfway through, when someone else was sharing, he reached under his chair and slid something toward me, a folded napkin. Inside it was a small silver coin, an AA, 1 month sober, chip, with the words "You earned this" scratched across the back by hand. I hadn't earned it yet. My 30 days were still 2 nights away. I skipped the next meeting. By morning, Maggie called. "Leah, there's a guy asking for you here. Said you were supposed to meet." "Derek?" "Tell him I'm sick," I whispered. Her voice lowered. "He said he knew that already." The next night, around 3 a.m., my doorbell rang. Twice. Then silence. I froze on the couch, heart pounding. The peephole showed nothing but darkness. Then, a whisper, so faint I thought it was the wind. "You can let me in, Leah. I'm your accountability partner." I called 911, but by the time the cruiser arrived, there was only a wet footprint on the porch. Days passed. I stopped going to meetings. Stopped answering calls. Until Maggie showed up herself. "Leah, you can't isolate," she said gently. "Come to the Sunday meeting. We'll keep an eye out." I agreed, mostly out of guilt. The church basement felt smaller than before. Everyone smiled. Everyone clapped when I got my official 1 month chip. Everyone except Derek. He sat across the circle, eyes hollow, thumb tracing the same coin he'd given me early. When the applause ended, he said, "Sometimes people take milestones they haven't earned." The room went silent. Maggie shot him a warning look. I whispered, "I think you should stop talking to me." He grinned. "I'm the only one really listening." I drove straight home afterward, checking my rear view every 30 seconds. Half a block from my apartment, a pair of headlights flared behind me, too close, blinding. I turned once, twice, tried to lose them. The car followed. Then the driver's side window lowered. It was Derek. He mouthed something I couldn't hear, but his lips formed the words, "You need me." I slammed into my parking spot,